Hello, this is another episode of Ask the HR Expert. My name is Anne-Lise Gere. I'm your HR consultant and advisor, and I answer your HR questions in just a few minutes. And today's question is one that comes sometimes when you have a key employee, maybe an office staff, who had to be terminated. How do we handle the aftermath of somebody who's been terminated? So, of course, it will really depend on the reason for the termination. So, get ahead of the rumor mill is my number one recommendation. Make a general announcement that the employee is departing. If they are departing for a happy reason, make sure that you mention it. If the employee is happy for the information to be shared, and if the question indicates that they were terminated, so it probably was not a happy situation, just make an announcement that the person employment terminates or was terminated on a specific date, and indicate who is taking over the responsibility. If you're going to ask colleagues to pick up the slack, or maybe you'll be hiring for a new position to fill that new open position. So get ahead of the rumor mill. And of course, depending on the reason why the termination happened, you may have slightly different ways to handle the rest of the staff. So if there was an investigation and misconduct was found, you want to tell people that you conducted an investigation and that the termination was one of the outcome of the termination. You don't want to explain what happened, but you just want to state very succinctly the fact that the termination was linked to an internal investigation. And I think for the general population of your employees, that will probably be sufficient. If that person was terminated for performance, again, I don't think you need to shout it out on the rooftops. But that's something you may want to have a discussion one-on-one with some key employees. If it's part of a reduction in forces, obviously everybody's well aware of that, and you probably have some sort of communication already in place. So the third aspect of, in addition to making an early general announcement to get ahead of the rumor mill, is to make sure that you talk one-on-one with the key employees that work the most closely with that person. So you want to explain to them, tell them personally what pretty much the general announcement says, and especially if you need their help to pick up the slack, you want to have their buy-in. But in general, I think, communicate early, communicate openly. Doesn't mean that, you have to tell everything, but be open and transparent as well, because you're also setting up expectations of behavior and performance for those employees who stay behind and who are your workforce. So it's also an opportunity to reinforce some key expectations. So this is another episode of Ask the HR Expert. If you have more questions you would like me to address in a future episode, do email me at annalise@gereconsulting.com. You can also check out my website at Gere Consulting. And of course, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you never miss another episode of Ask Your HR Questions. Until next time.